Well, hi there, folks, and welcome to another one of these Memphis Porch Sessions. And as you can see, I am indeed out here on the porches. It is a beautiful evening out here in Memphis. So I thought I'd come out and tell you this story, just like we're sitting on the porch. So pull up a chair, sit down with me. I got a story for you. Years ago, when I first heard Kenny Burrell, the great jazz guitar player, man, I wanted to play like Kenny Burrell. And I wanted to be around all those jazz guys. I just liked it, you know. And then we moved to Los Angeles about 1973, 1974. And a gentleman by the name of Hampton Hawes, who maybe you might know or maybe you don't, was one of the great bebop piano players. I had a gig at the Baked Potato in North Hollywood every Tuesday night. And I would go hear him, because he was playing this kind of gospel, blues, funk, jazz kind of thing going on. And I said, man, it's wonderful. What is he doing? And then he would do things, he'd be inside the key, you know, and then he'd move outside the key. But it sounded good when he was outside the key. It didn't sound like some guy saying, I can play outside the key. It sounded like he had a whole new thing going on. Man, I said, I got to be around this guy. So one day I had the courage to go up and meet him. And I said to him, Mr. Hawes, I said, I've been watching you for a while. He says, I've seen you at the club. I said, yeah. I said, I'd like to try and play with you. He said, you would? I said, yes, I would. He said, well, I'll tell you what. He said, why don't you come by the house? I said, come by the house? He says, yeah. He said, I live off the Pomona Freeway. Why don't you come on by? Let's say it was like a Wednesday. I said, I'll be there. So that Wednesday, I go by to Hampton Hawes' house. I park my car, and I get my guitar out of the car, and I walk up these steps to where his house was, and he opens the door and says, come on in. So I come on in, I sat down, and he sat down the piano. And I took out my guitar, tuned it up, and then he started to play. He said, let's do a blues in B flat. I said to myself, man, I got a chance at this, you know. So we played a blues together in B flat, and I did good, you know. I sat back, and he said, man, you can play some blues. I said, thank you. And he said, let's do this. And then he starts to play this thing. It's this like introduction, and I had no idea where on earth he was. I had no idea about the key or nothing. I was doing that thing that us guitar players do when we can't find the key. We got one finger going up one fret at a time, trying to find it, you know, and going back down and up and around, and then he'd change it and come on back. And it turned out he ended up playing Stella by Starlight, and me, I was playing Fella by Barlight. So that was the end of my jazz career right there. That's when I got it. But I hope you enjoyed this little story, and if you have enjoyed this visit here on the porch, I invite you to hit the subscribe button and come on by, pull up a chair the next time we're doing it, right? All right. As always, thank you for listening. Somebody just came home. This is down home what I'm doing here. So, where was I? Yeah. Pull up a chair, come by and join us for the next version of the Memphis Porch Sessions. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I look for you down the line.